The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of the empty office as Marcus Henderson sat motionless at his desk, staring at the stack of termination notices bearing his own name. The screens that once displayed his empire's rising stock prices now showed nothing but error messages. "Mr. Henderson?" He looked up. Emma, the young janitor, in her faded blue uniform and yellow gloves, stood in the doorway, her voice barely above a whisper. I know I'm not supposed to be here when executives are still working, but are you okay?" Marcus tried to smile, but his face wouldn't cooperate. "I'm not an executive anymore, Emma. As of 4 hours ago, I'm nobody." She stepped closer, clutching a dust cloth. "You're still somebody to me, sir. You always said good morning." He let out a hollow laugh. "That's all I have left now. Good manners and an empty bank account." Marcus had built Henderson Technologies from a college dorm room into a billion-dollar empire. 15 years of 18-hour days, sacrificed relationships, missed family gatherings, all for something that crumbled in a single afternoon. A fraudulent investment scheme he'd trusted his CFO to handle had drained everything. The lawsuits came swift and merciless. By sunset, his assets were frozen, his board had voted him out, and security had begun boxing up his office. "They're letting me stay until midnight," he said, not sure why he was explaining this to the janitor. Professional courtesy, they called it. "Then I have to leave my key card at the front desk." Emma set down her cleaning supplies and pulled out a paper bag. "I brought extra dinner tonight. My grandma always packs too much." She placed a sandwich wrapped in wax paper on his desk. "Turkey and Swiss, nothing fancy." Marcus stared at it. When was the last time someone had simply given him something? Not networking, not angling for favor, just giving. "Thank you," he whispered, his throat tight. She nodded and moved to empty his trash bin. That's when she paused, reaching down. "Mr. Henderson, you dropped this." It was a single sheet of paper, crumpled and coffee-stained. Marcus almost waved it away, but something in Emma's expression, concern, maybe even urgency, made him take it. He smoothed it out on his desk. His own handwriting stared back at him, dated 5 years ago. It was a letter he'd written to himself during a moment of doubt back when the company was still small. "Remember why you started this. Not for money, not for status. To create something that helps people. To build a team that feels like family. To prove that business can have a heart. Don't lose yourself in the numbers, Marcus. The person you are matters more than the fortune you build." His hands trembled. He'd completely forgotten writing this. It had been tucked in an old quarterly report he'd thrown away earlier. "Are you okay, sir?" Emma asked softly. I don't know." His voice cracked. "I built an empire and forgot why I was building it. I stepped back from operations, trusted the wrong people, stopped caring about anything except the bottom line. Maybe I deserve this." "Nobody deserves to lose everything," Emma said firmly. She surprised him by sitting in the chair across from him. Can I tell you something?" Marcus nodded. 3 years ago, I was homeless. I aged out of foster care with nowhere to go. I was sleeping in my car, showering at the gym. Then one day, I saw a job posting for this building. The HR manager was about to pass on my application because I had no references, no work history. But you, she met his eyes. You were walking by. You stopped and asked her to give me a chance. You said everyone deserves a first opportunity. You probably don't even remember. Marcus searched his memory. He vaguely recalled that moment. 3 years ago felt like another lifetime. "You changed my life, Mr. Henderson," Emma continued, her voice thick with emotion. "I got this job. I saved money. I'm taking online college courses now, business administration, because I saw how you treated people back then, the real you, before everything got so big. You smiled at the security guards. You asked the maintenance staff about their families. You made people feel seen. Tears spilled down Marcus's cheeks. And then I stopped. I stopped seeing anyone. I locked myself in this office and forgot what matters. Emma leaned forward. That letter you wrote, that person is still in there, sir. You haven't lost everything. You've lost money. That's not the same thing. Over the next hour they talked. Emma shared her story, the group home, the struggle, the night she almost gave up. Marcus shared his, the father who never believed in him, the drive to prove himself, the loneliness of success, the terror of failure. "What will you do now?" Emma finally asked. Marcus looked at the letter again. "I don't know. Start over, I guess. But differently this time." He paused. "Emma, how would you feel about starting a company with me?" She blinked. "Sir, I'm a janitor taking online classes. You understand people," Marcus interrupted. "You understand kindness, purpose, starting from nothing. I understand business structure. We'd be partners, equal partners. We start small, really small. Consulting for small businesses, helping them build sustainably, ethically, teaching them not to make my mistakes." Emma stared at him, then slowly smiled. "Henderson and Cole Consulting?" "Cole?" "My last name." "Perfect," Marcus said, extending his hand. "We'll need a lawyer eventually, contracts, the whole thing. But for now, partners." She shook his hand, her yellow cleaning glove still on. Partners. The twist came 3 months later. Marcus and Emma had been working out of a small shared office space, taking on their first few clients, local businesses that needed guidance but couldn't afford big consulting firms. The work was humbling, exhausting, and more fulfilling than anything Marcus had done in years. Then Emma arrived one morning pale and shaking, holding an envelope. "Marcus, you need to see this." It was a letter from the district attorney's office. They'd been investigating Henderson Technologies' collapse. The evidence showed that Marcus's former CFO had deliberately framed him, manipulating documents to make it appear Marcus had approved the fraudulent investments. The real transactions revealed that Marcus had repeatedly questioned the investments and demanded audits, requests that had been buried. "They're dropping all charges against you," Emma read out loud. "And they're asking if you want to pursue recovery of your lost funds." Marcus sat down heavily. He could have it all back. The penthouse, the reputation, the empire. "What will you do?" Emma whispered. He looked at their small office, the second-hand desks, the whiteboard covered in notes about their clients' dreams, and the photo Emma had pinned up of their first successful consultation. He thought about Mrs. Rodriguez's bakery, where they'd helped her secure a small business loan, about James's auto shop, where they'd restructured his operations, about the difference they were making, one person at a time. "I'm going to take enough to pay off my debts and invest the rest in a foundation to help people like you, aging out of foster care, needing that first chance. And I'm going to keep building this company, with you, the right way." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "You're really different now, aren't you?" "Because of a piece of paper I'd forgotten, and because someone cared enough to pick it up." A year later, Henderson and Cole Consulting occupied a modest but growing office. Their foundation had helped 37 young people find housing and employment. Marcus still drove a 10-year-old car. Emma had graduated with her business degree and now split her time between consulting and managing the foundation. On the anniversary of that rainy night, Marcus framed the crumpled letter and hung it in their lobby. Beneath it, he added a plaque. "Sometimes losing everything means finding what matters. Thank you, Emma."
Emma stood beside him, looking at it. "You know what's funny? That night, I almost didn't come into your office. I thought, he's a billionaire. He doesn't want to see the janitor." "And I almost told you to leave," Marcus admitted. "I wanted to be alone with my failure." "Good thing we're both stubborn," she smiled. "The best kind of stubborn." Marcus put his arm around her shoulders, not as a boss, but as a friend. "Thank you, Emma, for seeing me when I'd forgotten how to see myself." She leaned her head against his shoulder. Thank you for giving a scared kid in yellow gloves a chance. 3 years ago, and again that night. Sometimes the greatest fortune isn't measured in bank accounts or stock portfolios. It's measured in the people who stop to pick up what you've dropped, whether it's a piece of paper or your sense of purpose. Kindness doesn't just change individual moments, it changes entire lives. And sometimes it takes losing everything to remember that being somebody isn't about what you own, it's about who you are when everything else falls away. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.